Hi family. Strange that I'm starting it off, but I'm good with it. um, yeah, so today we're running a little late this week on doing a video, but what we've been talking about a lot is turning a negative into a positive. So with this crazy 2020, we have got plenty of negatives that we can talk about and we can focus on. But good conversation that we've been having the last week or so is just turning all those negative things into a positive. I can't say that everything can be turned into a positive because people dying, that's hard to turn into a positive. But when you're going through certain situations, you can rethink about it and try to see what there is to learn in it and how that could be turned into a positive. Because remember, right, God uses all things for the good of those who are with him. So, we can turn all things into a positive if we focus on God and give our love and trust to him. But I'm going to turn it over to Victor because he was giving some really good examples as we were talking about turning negatives into positives.
Hi, everybody. Well, it's sometimes little things. Sorry, the phone. Uh, Little things sometimes help you to do bigger things. Of course, right? You got to start at the bottom somewhere and all that. And so I got little examples. Like when I used to drive Uber, for an example, I seen this guy come in. He looked like a hot mess. You know, his coffee. And I guess they're right. I don't know. God put the words there for me. And we wake up, and the minute any little thing gets in our way, whatever, you can't find your T-shirt, your coffee spills, little things like that, automatically all that negativity comes out and says, is this the type of day I'm gonna have?
Right.
Absolutely not. That's the type of day you're gonna wanna have, or you're gonna have, if that's the way you think, right? You don't let nothing get in your way to have the rest of your day being spoiled or negative. So I usually use little examples. This particular guy that came into the car, and he's a coffee drinker and all that. And I drink coffee only once in the morning, but I used to drink a lot of coffee. And coffee drinkers have a problem when something happens to their coffee and it spills or whatever. So I gave him that example. I said, so you wake up in the morning, you go make a cup of coffee, and you're rushed to get to work, and it spills. And here comes them favorite words. Is this the type of day I'm gonna have? No. Why don't you put in your mind, maybe that cup of coffee was gonna not be good for me. I shouldn't have drank it. Could it be true? Maybe. Could it, not be true? Of course. But you put that in your mind, and it helps you go along not to do it. My wife just said something, right? That says, when somebody die, that's hard. It's hard, but you could change it. I tell you, for me, right? I speak on me because we don't all think alike. That'll never happen. When my father died, I was broken, right? And automatically what I put in my mind was, don't be selfish, Victor. He was suffering. The Lord called him. And I was more ease with saying that to myself, And all of a sudden, nothing but pleasant things that me and my father did for the last 14 years, that came into my mind. And I changed that. I wasn't, I was able to joke when my cousins came and they spoke and talked about the crazy things that we went through in life. But I was able to control that, it's so many things in life, I look at this way, right now is there's so much negativity in this world. We need to stop thinking negative and change these things around. And I get it, it's hard. There's people that don't have nothing to eat, and things like that. And so it's rough for me to tell somebody like that, change a negative, into a positive, because you eating, not me. But it can always be worse, and I've always said that. That's how I think. I'm just saying, maybe if it works for me and you think about it, every time we think we're doing bad, somebody's doing worse.
Well, what I'll say is, right, we're reading the Bible in 1 year, right? And last week, I think it was, we were reading about, think about what you think about. Like, that line stood out to me last week. We can control what we think about. One of the #1 bestsellers is Joyce Meyer's book, Battlefield of the Mind, right? And, she talks about the same thing. Thinking about what we think about, you can control those thoughts. You can't control the thoughts that pop into your head, but you can replace them. You can start turning that negative thought into a positive thought. You can start, any negativity that you hear, start thinking about the positive side of that. If all those negative thoughts that people put into your head about you're ugly, you're stupid, you're never going to be anything, you replace all those thoughts with, I am who God made me to be. I am precious in His sight. He loves me.
Absolutely.
You can replace your thoughts with positive thoughts, because what you focus on is what's going to guide you, right? So if you let those negative thoughts just sit there, then you're going to start hurting yourself and being negative and depressed and sad. Work on trying to replace those negative thoughts with positive thoughts.
Of course, and that's a great example, because me going through the storms that I went through since I was a kid, and everything I went, I thought I would never be where I am today. Really never thought about it. It is not even a smell came by my mind that I would be at where I am today. Because I lied to myself. I put myself in that position to think negative, and everything about me was negative. So of course I'm not gonna think of anything of me being positive and being where I am today, right? And 1999, when I came home, I started off in being positive in the smallest thing. Like I said, it's always the smallest thing. I came out and I went out to get a job. They gave me an emergency check and everything. Gave me food coupons and all that. And the first thing I said, I don't want to live like this. I don't want to depend on that. I have to do something for myself, right? And I did that. And then, of course, coming from jail and doing all that, the first thing I got to get a job. I couldn't get a job. I finally said, you know what? It's not how much I'm gonna make. It's me getting a job and show that I could get a job, and then I'll get a better job, I'll get a better job next time. I started working at $5.15 an hour. What that does for you in New York? Pay coffee and lunch? But I was content. I had a job. And in my job, like they say, when you have a job and you're doing a job, work as if you're working for God, right? And I just kept stepping up. But maybe if I wouldn't have taken that job for $5.15 an hour, come on, let's be real, right? And I kept stepping up like that, And I started with my wife at that time and everything, and everything became positive for me after that. I said it could be done. Every time I did something, I used to be so happy, And the thing is with that is that we could change a negative into a positive, We need to do that. Don't listen to them negative voices of what you could be, what you can't be,
Right.
and all that. I mean, I'm realistic. Let's keep it real. I know favorite saying out there, you could be whatever you want. Could I become a scientist at this age? No, you know, it's so, but you know how far you could go, right? But then with God is a different thing, right? Because the things I'm doing with God today, in His name, I've grown a lot. I've grown a lot. I feel my wife growing a lot, you know, and so again, right? It's who you follow. Is you gonna follow negativity or positivity?
Right.
We chose to follow positivity
Amen.
because that's all God is,
Amen.
and everything has worked for us. I mean, I feel this is, I don't know, my wife, I could freely say because we speak a lot, and this is the best 21 years that we've been together, that we actually have not only the 21 years, but the best life we have lived.
Amen.
I really feel that.
Amen. Yeah. I'm agreeing with everything you're saying. I just, as you step out into your everyday, when you wake up in the morning and you get ready to go to work or homeschool your kids or go into a different room to go to work, think about what you think about. That's what's really sticking with me, right? Think about what you think about.
Yeah.
Think about what influences you and what you think about.
Yeah.
I promise you, with God's promises, nothing is as bad as it seems. God's got it all covered.
I really believe that, and having faith and believing in somebody you haven't seen, right? That's faith, right? I can't say I've seen God, right? But His Word, it's the beginning. His Word, He is God, His promises, He haven't failed me yet.
Amen.
And I'm sure He never will.
Amen.
Now, we fail, and we could blame it on Him,
All the time.
right? Because that's what we do.
All the time.
I hear people blaming everything on the devil. Not defending the devil or nothing like that. But we blame everybody else for what we do to ourselves. And that's part of negativity.
Right.
To stop thinking like that. Just give situations, sit down, think about it, and take them to the right place.
Amen.
My right place is Jesus.
Amen.
And I guess we said a little bit enough to let you know. God bless you guys. Thank you for everything. Real Talk with Victor. And don't forget about my book. I got to mention it. God bless.